lots of optimism around the Greek austerity plan and the fact that it will be passed in today's parliamentary vote. We know that the House view at Standard Bank is that it will be. Let's take a look at implications on the rand. If it is, and if that is confirmed today, are we just looking at more upside? What kind of rand strength are we set to see filter through?
Morning, Alishia. Well, just starting from yesterday, we saw the euro and risky assets, and then, of course, along with that, the rand had quite a good day yesterday, largely buoyed by optimism that the vote today would go ahead. And as you mentioned, Standard Bank's base case is that the vote will be passed. So in that event, because that's what market consensus is expecting, we'd expect that could potentially result in further upside for the rand. We'd be looking for a move to about 6.77. If, on the other hand, the vote does not go as expected, then we could see a spike in risk aversion. We could see the euro losing ground against the dollar, and consequently, we'd also expect the rand to weaken. We'd be looking for a move from current levels to above the 690 level.
Of course, we have 7 and breaking that 7 already being put on the table if that no vote is cast. What about the potential for a blowout closer to 9 to the dollar?
I think that certainly is not a scenario that we're considering at this point, Alishia. Remember that although this crisis has been bubbling under for some time, Greece is still quite a small part of the Eurozone, and at this point the rand really is being led by euro movements. So to see that magnitude, we'd expect to see quite a big reaction, firstly in the euro-dollar move, which we're not forecasting at this point.
Of course, we are waiting for around about 2 p.m. South African time to check in on what the vote cast is, and of course then markets turn attention to that more contentious vote on the details of the plan tomorrow. What are you anticipating in that regard?
Well, we're expecting all to actually go ahead as far as the votes are concerned, Alishia. Greece finds itself in a very tight spot at the moment, and it does seem as though all members of parliament, or certainly all authoritative figures, have accepted that this bailout package does need to be passed and does need to be accepted for Greece to be able to firstly maintain its position in the euro, but also for market stability. So I think there's a very low probability of things going all right.
Of course, with that, we've got Eurozone economic sentiment data being anticipated today. Your overall expectations in that regard?
Well, in that regard, we're expecting confidence in the Eurozone to have slipped lower in June, obviously largely driven by concerns over Greece and the wider implications for the Eurozone. So expecting indicators of economic confidence, consumer confidence, confidence in sectors such as the industrial and manufacturing sectors. We're expecting those to have all dipped lower in June.
Of course, looking at things, we had U.S. consumer confidence showing the effect of that economic growth slowdown yesterday. A lot of attention on what's happening abroad right now. If all gets resolved in Greece, what kind of factors or local events do you see gauging investors in terms of what's set to influence that rand direction from here on out?
Alishia, a lot will depend obviously on what happens in the situation in Greece. If things all go smoothly, which is our base case scenario, then for now the attention that's being focused on the Eurozone should dissipate somewhat, and the rand's direction will from that point largely be driven by local factors. We have quite a lot of data out this week, and then we'd of course be looking ahead to the MPC that follows in the middle of next month. So should the situation in the Eurozone come off crisis point, then the rand would probably switch to taking direction more from local factors and things such as expectations of interest rates, expectations of GDP.